Hey guys, today we're talking about on-the-go games.
These are games we're grabbing when we're heading out of the house to grab coffee, date night, or any get-together outside the house.
So the number one thing for me when I was thinking about an on-the-go game or what I would want to bring with is the table space that it takes up. So we're looking for minimal table space.
Also, easy setup.
For sure. And the biggest thing also is if you're on the go, if you're out somewhere, you're on a date or on at a coffee shop or at a bar, is like, can you have a conversation and still play the game?
Yes,
we love heavy thinkers, but let's save that for at home, and when we're out at the bar, let's play an easy game.
So let's go check out some of our favorites.
First up on our list is Tussie Mussie from Button Shy Games. It actually just comes in this little wallet size. This is the whole game, and it's just this small deck. This, I think, fits the table space perfectly. So each round, you're gonna play up to 4 cards on each player. And what you're doing is collecting flowers for an arrangement. I think the theme is you're asking somebody on a date or something in the Victorian era. But what you do each time is you draw 2 cards off the deck. You take a look, and you'll play one of them face up and one of them face down. Then your opponent gets to pick one of those cards. All right, and then this would come over here. So after each player has 4 cards, that's the end of the round. You take your face down cards below, turn them face up, and then each of them has different ways that they score on them. So you'll score your points, and I think you play 3 rounds, and the highest score at the end of 3 rounds is the winner. It's just super small and simple, but each turn, whether you're the person putting the cards out or you're having to select the cards, it's an important decision because you only get 4 cards and they all are a big deal. I don't know, what do you think, Em?
It's super quick and easy. It's perfect for small tables, like at a coffee shop. And the art's really cute. It's just quick and fun.
Yeah, I think this one is probably, this was the first one I thought of when we said on-the-go games. I thought, this is the one I always grab if we're going. You know, this is one of the few that I actually regularly pull out at a restaurant, at a coffee shop.
It can also fit in your pocket.
Yeah,
Literally
exactly.
just
It fit right in your pocket.
It's one of my favorites.
It's a good one.
Okay, next on our list is Onitama. Our biggest box, biggest grab and go game, but super easy portable box, so all packs in there nice.
It has magnets in the box, which is like, I think passes it gets
test?
past it being too big. This is a chess-like abstract strategy game. You're either trying to get your leader to the other side of the board, the temple on the other side of the board, or you're trying to capture the opponent's leader with one of your pieces. The trick about the game though is it comes with these cards, and on the cards are the different moves. So at the beginning of the game, you deal 2 to each player, and then 1 additional card. And so the way that the game works is when you execute a move, let's say this move allows me to go here, I would then take the middle card, and I would then leave this card here for my opponent to get after they play their card. So there's 5 move types each game, and they're all different. There's quite a large deck. And they can be applied to any of your pieces, and the moves you use will eventually go to your opponent. So you have to always be thinking, okay, I need to get here to do this, but then they're gonna have these moves available to them.
Yeah.
And I'm so bad at this game.
I'm so good at this game.
Emily always beats me.
Well, you can see what the other person can do. You can see their moves. It's not a trick. But then the tricky thing is when you have a really good card, you can use it, but you will be passing it along to the next person then. It's super fun.
Yeah, and yes, exactly, minimal space, right? If I put the box away and I put the cards to the side, here we are. This is our entire tabletop space. So it definitely passed the coffee shop table test. Mm-hmm. That's a good one. I like this one. Okay. All right, next up on our list is Hanamikoji, which comes in a very small box, but is just barely encroaching on the maybe too big for a coffee shop table. You need a coffee table width to play this game, so be careful where you. But overall, the component-wise, it is quite small. It's just these cards, these tokens, and each player has these action tokens, and then a deck of cards. So the way that it's played is you're trying to gain the favor of the geisha. They're worth different points from 2 to 5, and if you ever at the end of a round have the favor of 4 or a total of 11 points worth of geisha, then you win. So I think you're supposed to play over 3 rounds and see if you can meet those goals. On your turn, what you do, there's a deck of cards that are assigned with each of the different geishas. One card is thrown out at the beginning of the round, so you don't know what's not in the deck. Then you draw a card and do one of the actions. And it's worth talking about the actions, because the actions are either to secretly play a card that your opponent doesn't know about, you secretly get rid of 2 cards from that round, and then the last 2 are where this game gets interesting. You can either put 3 cards out, and your opponent will choose 1 and you get the other 2, or you put 2 pairs of 2 out. So 4 cards total, 2 pairs of 2. Your opponent always gets first pick though. They get to pick 2 of the pairs, or the 1 of the pairs, and you get the other pair. And then at the end of the round, you will have cards on each side under the different geishas. And so you add up who had the most cards under each one, and the influence marker slides to that player. If there's a tie, it just stays where it was. And that's key. If you'd won influence in a previous round, you don't have to win influence again. You only have to tie to maintain that influence. So while the game is played in rounds, winning the game is actually carried out over the course of the entire game. And the thinkiness of putting down cards that your opponent's going to get to choose from first, but there may be ones you really want in there, especially knowing what your secret card is or what you put out of the game, is what makes this game worthwhile. Even though it definitely is encroaching on the table hog space, I think it still makes it one of my games I want to pull out on the go.
It's definitely very simple, but more thinky, if that makes sense, than most of our quick little table games. So this one, sometimes you do sit there being like, hold on, I just cannot decide what I want to. So it's a little bit thinkier in that, sense, but it's also a gorgeous game to look at. It's very pretty.
Yeah, the art is really fantastic. I completely agree with what you said. It's a good one.
I was waiting for that. Our next game is Dead Man's Draw, which is a perfect game for a double date because this plays 2 to 4 players this time.
Oh, 4? I didn't know that. Oh.
Now you know. So this is a push your luck game. It's super easy. Everybody gets a suit ability card, and you literally just draw off the deck and do what the suit is, and you can stop whenever you want. So you just flip it, check out what it does on your ability card, and you can just continue until you want to stop, or if you bust, then you don't get any of those cards.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
You're absolutely right.
Hey.
Yeah, I like that. This is the kind of game that can get exciting at the table. So, I don't know that we've ever sat down at a restaurant or a coffee shop to play Dead Man's Draw, but definitely over a round of drinks.
Yes.
We've pulled it out on the table. And there's that, do you draw one more? Do you draw one more? Because you bust when you pull the same suit again.
Ooh, okay.
And you're always sort of like, there, I busted, right? So now I get nothing. The other interesting thing is every time a card comes out, no matter if it's because you drew it or because a card ability caused a card to come out, you execute that suit's ability. And there are all kinds of things, like steal cards from another player, or everything below that won't go away when you bust, and all kinds of other stuff. If you don't bust, then you just collect those cards, and then they can score you points at the end of the round.
And they also have different point values on them, so some come out might be better than others.
It does get interesting because if you score a lower point card in the same suit, you just put it underneath, so your score didn't go up. So later on, you can kind of like take bigger risks if you have some higher point scoring cards, because you're really like digging for those good ones.
This one's super easy though, super fun, like all of them are. It comes in a easy to grab box. It's great.
Last on our list for on-the-go games is another game that plays more than 2 players, but still doesn't take up much space. That's Patchwork Doodle. So much like the 2-player Patchwork game with the tiles, in this case you're trying to cover up a sheet that you can write on. Now, it does come with some very small colored pencils, but if you can store some crayons or your own colored pencils in the box, that always helps, because making things colorful is half the fun of this game. So if you only end up with one color and your sheet looks like this,
Boring.
That's not nearly as fun as your sheet looking like this, or even somebody got very creative with this one and they were drawing all kinds of shapes and colors and stuff. What you do in the game is you'll have an assortment of cards around this deck. They're the different shapes everybody's gonna have to draw. There's a small dice. You roll the dice and you move the guy that many spaces, 1, 2, 3, and then everyone has to draw that shape on their player board. Once you've played 6 cards, you do an intermediate scoring, and then you pull out new cards and then go again. I think you do that 3 times. Also, on everybody's sheets, they have a couple of one-time use special powers that allow them to cut up a shape or fill in a very small gap, or there's a couple of other ones. This one is very straightforward, very fun. Like, anybody can play it if you can draw shapes on a sheet. This is one where you can talk and play at the same time. And then sometimes, you get thinking, you look, where's that gonna fit? Where's it gonna go? But a lot of times you're just sort of casually drawing, and that's half the fun.
And you can mirror it, right?
You can
that's
mirror
what it shows. It kind of shows you if you were to like flip it or whatever. So you can get creative with how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
This one's fun though, and it plays 6+, so you could pass all the sheets around a table and everyone takes turns rolling the dice and moving, and it's fun. That's the theme.
That's right. I think you're really only limited by the number of sheets that you hand out or the number of coloring utensils you have. But otherwise, yeah, this is an easy one, and it's not a table hog. It's it's all you got to deal with is this pile of cards here, and that's it.
Sounds good.
It's a good one. I think I said that after Arsenal. So stupid.
I like it.